You know that feeling, right? Your hand just automatically goes to your phone,
Hmm.
even when you weren't consciously planning to check it. It's kind of baked in now for so many of us.
It really is.
And that's exactly what we're digging into today, this whole complex relationship we have with our smartphones.
Yeah.
We all kind of know it's a balancing act, but like, what are the real takeaways, the actual techniques that work for managing it better?
Beyond just saying, oh, I use my phone too much.
Exactly, going beyond just recognizing it. So we've looked through quite a bit, articles, some research, and, some stories from people that really hit home about how tied up our lives are with these things.
Yeah.
And our mission for this deep dive is pretty clear. Pull out the practical stuff, the actionable tips you can actually use to be more mindful about how you use your phone.
Makes sense.
Okay, let's unpack this. And we've got our expert here to help us navigate all this digital stuff.
Happy to be here. It's definitely a timely conversation. Because when you look at why we're so pulled in,
Yeah.
it's not random.
No, definitely not.
There are real reasons, like that little buzz you get, that dopamine hit from a notification,
Right.
or the promise of social connection, endless entertainment, even just feeling like you're being productive scrolling through things.
Yeah, that illusion of productivity.
Mm.
And the sources we looked at really highlight that this isn't just happening by chance. Tech companies, well, they design these things to be sticky.
Oh, absolutely. They employ psychologists, neuroscientists,
Yeah.
people who understand how to keep our attention. It's very intentional.
Yeah.
They tap right into our brain's reward pathways, our psychological needs. And what's really striking is how fast this all happened. Phones started as, tools.
Just for calls, maybe texts.
Right. And now, the idea of being without your phone causes real anxiety for a lot of people. There's even a term for it, nomophobia.
Fear of being without your mobile phone.
Exactly. And what's fascinating here is how quickly this has progressed, essentially in, a single generation?
It really makes you pause. But, okay, moving towards solutions. Our sources also give us some solid ways to spot when phone use might be, let's say, less than healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where it gets really interesting. We get actual signs, not just fuzzy feelings. What are some of those things we should look out for?
Yeah, seeing the signs is step one, right? And they can look different across ages. For kids, maybe you see a big jump in screen time,
Okay.
or they really struggle to put it down, even argue or get upset when you take it away.
Right, that loss of control. And it's not just kids, obviously, for teens and adults.
For them, the sources mention things like letting responsibilities slide work, schoolwork, even chores at home,
Mm-hmm.
or sleep getting messed up because they're on their phone late at night.
That's a big one.
Huge. And maybe pulling back from face-to-face stuff,
Mhm.
preferring to interact online instead.
Yeah, withdrawing socially.
And then there are the physical things, too. Don't
Mhm.
forget those. Eye strain, sure, but also neck pain.
Text neck, they call it.
That's the one. And even wrist pain, like Dicrovane tenosynovitis, from all the thumb swiping and typing.
Ouch.
Emotionally, too, you might see more anxiety, irritability, maybe lower self-esteem, especially if there's a lot of comparing yourself to others online.
These are really concrete things to watch for in ourselves and others.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get the poll, we see the signs. What can we actually do? What are some individual strategies we can start using?
Right, the practical steps. Well, a big one is setting time limits for specific apps or just overall screen time.
Most phones have tools for that now, right?
They do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Built right in, usually. Another really effective thing, turning off notifications, at least the non-essential ones.
Oh, yeah. That constant buzzing or dinging.
It just feeds that urge to check, constantly pulling you out of whatever else you're doing.
Definitely. What else can individuals try?
Creating no phone zones or times.
Mm-hmm.
This is a powerful one. Like the bedroom is a classic example. Keep the phone out for better sleep.
Or during meals.
Absolutely. Put it away during meals.
Yeah.
Focus on the people you're with. And finding other things to do when you're bored. That's key.
Instead of the default phone reach.
Exactly. Keep a book nearby, go for a quick walk, have a hobby ready, anything to break that automatic habit.
It's like building awareness around the habit itself.
Precisely. That's mindfulness, basically, just noticing when you reach for it and why. That pause gives you a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just taking regular screen breaks. Good for your eyes, good for your head. One source mentioned a simple idea, like a 3-minute break every 15 minutes or so of screen time.
Okay.
And for sleep, definitely avoid that blue light. Before bed, it messes with your melatonin.
Right, the sleep hormone.
Yeah. And just having a regular sleep schedule helps everything. If we connect this to the bigger picture, all these techniques, they're really about regaining conscious control over something that's become, for many, pretty automatic.
Taking back the reins, so to speak. These are great for individuals. Now, what about families? Especially with kids and teens in the mix. That adds another layer, doesn't it?
It really does. So for parents, maybe the most important thing is being a good role model yourself.
Ah, practice what you preach.
Basically, yeah. Kids pick up on your habits. Also, talking to them about, educating them on, the downsides, how too much screen time can affect focus, sleep, real-world social skills.
So actually having those conversations.
Open communication, definitely. And setting rules together as a family. If everyone agrees on the boundaries, they're more likely to stick.
Makes sense. What about monitoring their usage?
Monitoring can be helpful, using those built-in features or apps, but framing it as a team effort, working toward shared goals, not just spying.
Right. And offering alternatives seems important too.
Crucial. Providing other engaging things, toys, outdoor time, hobbies, makes the screen less appealing by default.
And that big question, when to even give a kid a smartphone in the first place.
Yeah, the sources suggest delaying it as long as it's practical. And if you do give one, maybe start without a data plan.
So it's mainly for calls or texts, not constant internet.
Exactly. Limits the temptation. Also, using what one source called third-party stories can be useful.
What does that mean?
Like sharing anecdotes or maybe news stories about the impact of phone overuse, but in a non-judgmental way, just as a teaching moment.
Got it. So it sounds like for families, it's about creating structure, offering alternatives, and keeping the lines of communication open.
That sums it up pretty well. Now, we should also touch on the fact that sometimes these individual and family approaches, well, they might not be enough.
Right. Sometimes the problem is bigger.
Exactly. There are wider factors, societal things, but also it's important to recognize when professional help might be needed.
When does it reach that point?
Generally, when the use becomes compulsive. When someone finds they can't stop, even when they know it's causing negative consequences in their life, work, relationships, health, that's often a sign that external support could be beneficial.
And what kind of support is available?
Things like counseling, different kinds of therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is often used. Mindfulness-based therapies, too. They help understand triggers, build coping skills, regain control. There are even more intensive options for severe cases.
Okay.
And the key thing here is that seeking help isn't a weakness. It's actually a sign of strength, of self-awareness.
That's a really vital point.
It really is. And it brings up a bigger question for all of us, doesn't it? How do we create environments, personally and maybe even collectively, that support making these kinds of positive changes?
That's definitely something to think about. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the main thing you want our listener to take away from all this?
I think the core message is that managing this relationship with our phones usually isn't about quitting them entirely. It's more about awareness, about being intentional, and using these practical techniques to find a better, healthier balance for yourself.
And it's not like flipping a switch, is it? It's ongoing.
Oh, absolutely. It's a journey. Small steps done consistently really add up over time.
So maybe take a moment after this, reflect on your own habits, maybe try just one thing we talked about, see how it feels.
Good idea.
And to leave you with something to chew on, considering how deeply, deeply embedded these devices are in, well, everything we do. What does a truly balanced digital life actually look like for you? Thank you so much for breaking all this down with us.
My pleasure. It was a great discussion.